Hi, I'm Claire from Inspiratrix Yoga. This is a short session for what might be, I'm recording this at Christmas time, so it's like what might be a busy time of year. Now, whether that's for you watching this at Christmas or some other time of year, the intention for this practice is just to do some practice, some simple movements and some simple restorative practices to just help slow down a bit in mind and body, to help create space internally, and to maybe just create the possibility of your mind slowing down a bit and becoming a bit stiller. So for this practice, you'll need ideally like 4 or 5 cushions and 2, 3, 4 blankets if you've got them. Just gather as many props as you've got, and we'll play with them later on. What I think we should do today is do a little bit of movement just to release some of the major joints in the body. And then we'll do a couple of lying down poses. So it's kind of quite a short session, but it's a chance to kind of get a bit of calm before we go, as we go into this busy Christmas period. Okay, so let's start with some simple movements. Let's go onto our hands and knees and do a few rounds of cat-cow. So with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, you can inhale and arch your back, letting your belly drop down, lifting your tail and your head. Then exhale and round your back, relaxing your head down, pushing your mid back up, pushing your hands into the floor. So inhale, arch your spine the other way, belly's dropping, head's lifting. Exhaling, rounding your back the other way. Belly is lifting up, mid-back's lifting up, head is dropping, tail pointing down. Do a few more of those. Feeling how your spine is moving. Continuing this movement in a way that's just about bringing a bit of life, a bit of movement to your spine, releasing tension around your back or anywhere else. Moving with your breath and just paying attention to your body, paying attention to your inner world. Just a chance to be with yourself and be with your own inner experience before we get into the madness of this season. For the next 2 rounds, focus on your shoulder area, bringing a little more movement to the area around your shoulder blades. That can be a really sticky place. Great. Then come into a sitting position. If you feel more comfortable sitting on a block or a cushion, put a block or a cushion underneath your hips, or even several. And then let's have, say, right leg straight and left leg bent. Now, if that feels uncomfortable and you'd rather have both legs bent or sit some other way, that's fine as well. And then we'll do some stuff for the wrists and shoulders. So take your left hand out in front of you and spread the fingers out. Inhale, hold onto your little finger with the other hand. Exhale, stretch into your little finger, stretch into your palm. You might even be able to feel that stretch in your arm. Then hold your next finger. Deep breath in. Exhale, stretch the next finger back. Inhale, middle finger. Hold on to just the middle finger on its own. Exhale, stretch your middle finger back towards your belly. Inhale, hold on to the next finger, the index finger. Exhale, stretch your index finger back. Inhale, hold on to your thumb. Pull your thumb to the side a little. Exhale, stretch into your thumb. Great. Give your hands a wiggle and notice if one hand feels different to the other. And then do some movements, moving one shoulder in turn, just each shoulder rolling it back, and then the other one. And then we'll do a bit of side to side movement. So inhale, stretch your arms out. Exhale, tilt over to one side, bring your hand to the floor, other hand up in the air, just as far, only as far as is comfortable. Inhale back to the sides. Exhale, other way. And continue that, moving with your breath. Smoothing your arms, your shoulders, your spine. Maybe a little bit in your hips as well. Just one more to each side. Great. And then if you're doing something asymmetrical with your legs, switch to the other side or just have a wiggle and change your position a bit. And then we need to stretch the fingers of your, whichever hand you didn't stretch before, I think it's your right hand. So stretch your right hand out, palm facing forwards, and we'll use the other one to stretch into the fingers. So inhale, holding the little finger. Exhale, stretching your little finger back. Relax in your shoulders. Inhale, hold the ring finger. Exhale, stretch your ring finger back. Inhale, hold your middle finger. Exhale, stretching your middle finger back. Inhale, index finger. Exhale, stretch the index finger on its own back. Stretch out all the other fingers on your hand at the same time. Inhale, hold onto your thumb, pull it to the side. Exhale, stretch your thumb back. Great. Now do the same thing with your shoulders, rolling one back and then the other back. Just moving the shoulders around, letting go of tension around your chest or shoulders. And then we'll do that side to side thing. So inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, one hand down, other hand up. Inhale to the middle. Exhale, other side. Doing that a few more times. Not straining into this, just getting some simple movement for your arms, your shoulders, your spine. Great. And then after that, straighten out both of your legs and do some circles with your feet and circles with your wrists. So kind of like really moving at the wrist, yeah. And then make them go the other direction, whichever the other direction is. And then switch directions again. Just moving your ankles and your wrists. Great. Okay. So we'll do a couple of somatic exercises now, which are, some of you have done this with me before, some of you haven't, but the principle here is that we're contracting groups of muscles and then releasing them very slowly, and in that release we can let go of tension. So the first exercise we'll do, we'll come to the cushions in a minute, where you'll be lying on your back with your knees bent and focusing on your lower back. So knees are bent, soles of your feet are on the floor. Focusing on your lower back. For a moment, just notice the space between your lower back and the floor whether your lower back feels curvy right now or whether it feels quite flat. And we're going to be working with that space between your lower back and the floor. So the practice here is as you inhale, you'll increase the space between your lower back and the floor. So your lower back is getting more curvy. That's an active movement. Then when you breathe out, you're relaxing that. Just relaxing whatever that effort has been. So as you inhale, there's a kind of contraction around your lower back that causes your lower back to arch more. As you exhale, you're slowly relaxing whatever that contraction has been. Your shoulders and your hips will stay on the floor. So do that a few more times, inhaling and arching and exhaling and relaxing. Letting go of any tension from your lower back. And then after that round, just pause without doing anything. Just relaxing. Close your eyes for a moment and notice how you feel inside. Notice whether your mind is busy or your mind is quieter. Knowing that it's okay if your mind is busy. Getting annoyed about your mind being busy doesn't help your mind be less busy. So just noticing where you're at right now. Now we'll do another somatic cat exercise. This is cat exercise 4, where you'll still be on your back, but I want you to take your left hand behind your head. So your head is resting in your left hand. And then you'll be moving your left elbow towards your right knee and lifting your right leg. Let's do this with the breath. So if you inhale and arch your back, like you were just doing, exhale, relax your back, lift your head up and lift your right leg up. So your left elbow is moving towards your right knee. Then as you inhale, as slowly as you can, you release down from that head and foot come to the floor. So doing that as smoothly as you can. At the end of the inhale, arch your back. Then on exhale, relax your back. Lift your head, left elbow moving towards right knee. So you're staying with the same side. Inhale, coming down and arching. Do 2 more on this same side. Moving slowly, releasing tension, slowing down. After that round, just pause for a moment in between sides with both feet on the floor, arms resting on the floor. Close your eyes and notice if there's a difference in the pattern of weight on your left side and the pattern of weight falling into your right side. And then let's do the other side. So head resting in your right hand. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, relax your back. Lift your head and your right elbow. Lift your left leg. So your right elbow and left knee move towards each other. Doesn't matter if they touch or not. Inhale slowly, very smoothly. Yeah, very smoothly without, like you're aiming to have it really smooth, no jerks. Head and foot come to the floor, arch your back at the end, and then do 3 more of these. Moving slowly with control, noticing the places that engage, the places that release. After that round, just pausing. Take some deep, slow breaths that go all the way down to your belly. If you rest your hands on your belly, feel how your hands rise and fall with your breath. And then stretch your arms out to the side and do a simple lying down twist, just taking your knees from one side to the other as slowly as you can. Just within the range of movement that feels comfortable. Just bringing a bit of movement to your hips, your knees, your lower back. Keeping everything slow. In fact, deliberately slowing things down. This is a great tool to use when everything's really busy and rushed. Just to slow down your breath, slow down your movements. Okay, then I want you to roll all the way onto your left-hand side. Bring both arms in front of you. So you can lie on one side and then sit up from your side. Great. Next, we'll do a couple of restorative yoga poses. And the restorative yoga is a little bit different to what we might do in a usual class, where often we're sort of moving between different poses and doing different things. And there's a certain amount of movement and there's a certain amount of talking. One of probably the defining characteristic of restorative yoga is it's very still. You kind of get into a position and then you stay there without moving for an extended period of time. This first position, we'll maybe stay in it for like 3-4 minutes. But it'll just be 3-4 minutes of being still without talking, without moving. So it might feel a little bit different to a regular yoga class. And it may be that your kind of mind gets busier whilst you're resting there, thinking of like, the turkey and the Christmas presents and the grandchildren and, but that's okay. The one of the really useful things about restorative yoga is it's not actually a mind practice, it's a body practice. It's a nervous system practice where by being still, it helps your nervous system to calm down, to down-regulate, and that then helps your mind. So this first thing we'll do is, it's a mini back bend. So I want you to make a little bit of a platform with whatever cushions you've got. I've got these two cushions that are the same size actually, so I'm going to put them together so that there's a little bit of a platform, and then my head and the top of my shoulders are going to be on the floor, and then my rib cage and hips are going to be on this platform. So I've set it up. You can approach it by lying down sideways. And then in terms of where you end up on this, it's like the top of the cushions should be at the base of your shoulder blade, at the base of your scapula. Kind of if you're wearing a bra, it's like about where the back of your bra is, the back bra strap is. That's about where the top of the cushions is. And then my ribs are supported, my hips are supported, and it should feel sort of even and comfortable. And then my head is on the floor, top of my shoulders are on the floor. Arms could be sort of like at a diagonal to sort of not far from your hips, or could be a bit out to the side if that feels comfortable. And then just to keep this simple, we'll do this with knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. So in a mini back bend. And we'll stay here for 3 minutes. If your head and neck feel really uncomfortable doing this, put a little bit of height underneath the head as well. The goal here is just to be in stillness. To allow yourself to have still time. Whether your mind stays busy or whether your mind calms, whether your breath is deep or shallow, not worrying about any of that. Just allowing yourself stillness. Breathe deep into your belly and feel for relaxing your belly and your internal organs. To come out of this, if you keep your head relaxed and then roll onto one side, so you roll off the cushions, so you're kind of then lying on your side. Then you can sit up from the side. This next setup is one of my very favourite things to do because it really helps. It really helps me to get into a deeper relaxation state. Now, we don't have in a weekly class where we've only got an hour or an hour and a quarter. We don't have the time to kind of set up with all these props, and often we're only resting for sort of 5 minutes or so. But what I want to do is do a Shavasana setup. Shavasana basically means corpse pose. So we'll set ourselves up in the lying down position, in the corpse position, with some extra cushions and blankets to make it a bit more comfortable. So, assuming you have got, say, 4 cushions and 2 blankets, you're going to have 2 cushions that will go underneath your hands, 2 cushions that will go underneath the back of your knees. You might need to roll them up a bit. And then I want you to roll, then you'll have 1 blanket that's going to go underneath your head. That's my head end there. And another blanket that I'm going to sort of turn into a long, thin roll figure out which of your blankets is going to be best for this. So I've created like a long thin roll with another blanket. You could also use a rolled up yoga mat for this. It's actually going to go under the back of my ankles. So if I show you sort of where I'm going to land on that. So the back of the ankles are on this roll. There's some kind of cushiony support under the back of my knees. My head is on the blanket, and then my hands are resting on these cushions. Now, with the head blanket, you want it to be sort of big enough and poofy enough and comfortable enough. So you might need to sort of mess around with it. You might need more blankets. You might want to put a block underneath there. I'm going to try a blanket on a cushion for my head actually, so that you've got sort of enough to support your head comfortably. Because with your head, if your head if when you're lying on the floor your head is going back, it's really uncomfortable in your neck and not at all restful. So you actually want your head to be your chin slightly tucked in, so a little bit of height underneath your head is comfortable. So you've got support underneath the back of your neck, chin tucked in a little bit. So whatever cushions or blankets you think will work best for that. And then if you can, something for your back of your ankles, something under the back of the knees, something under the back of the hands. So yeah, work with whatever you've got. Yeah. And find these things. If you want to unmute and let me know anything, then feel free to do that. Yes, that sounds fine. Oh, you're all set up. Very good. All right. Well, lie yourself down now then. The one other thing is, if your room wasn't warm, I'd say perhaps take another blanket to put over the top of you as well. That can be a really nice thing too. And if the light is on, turn off the light, or ask a member of your family to turn the light off. So that, because if things are too shiny and bright, that's not restful either. With the cushions, just have them underneath your hands. So your elbows are on the floor. It's just your hands that are on the cushions. And then kind of have a wriggle around, feel if this is comfortable, if you need to move any of your props, if you need more support underneath your head and neck. Get it all so it's as maximally comfortable as you can. Just this extra support under your limbs and your head. And then when you're set up, closing your eyes, going inwards. And we'll stay here for 10 minutes. I'm going to set an alarm so we don't wake up the other side of Christmas. And if you're practicing on your own without a video, sometimes setting an alarm on your phone is a great way of ensuring that you actually do have a proper Shavasana without worrying that you're going to fall asleep. Just committing to being in stillness for the next 10 minutes. Relaxing into the comfort of the cushions and blankets. Your time of stillness. Come back to your breath. Noticing your breath and your body. And then make some small movements. So not starting by moving too fast, just making some small movements, maybe having a stretch out. And then eventually coming back to sitting upright. Thank you so much for joining me today for this practice. Just notice how your mind is, whether it's still busy, or whether you've just found a little bit more calm, a little bit more space in between the thoughts is actually a massive achievement. There's the kind of myth, I think, that meditation and yoga are about like stilling your mind, and your mind must become still like a still pond. Sometimes that happens, but very often the effects of practice are just to make a little bit more space between the thoughts, a little bit less busyness in the head. That is a massive achievement. So however your practice was for you today, well done, and enjoy the rest of your holidays if you're in holiday time. And I hope to see you for a class soon. If you're already practicing with me, you know that I teach at Inspiratrix Yoga. You can find all the information about my offerings at inspiratrix.co.uk. I do a monthly membership, which is incredible value because you get access to Zoom classes and recorded classes and workshops and all sorts of fun for a very reasonable price. Go to the Inspiratrix website to find out more. Goodbye for now.